Good morning, one and all. Welcome again to the Database Management System lecture series. In this video, you are going to learn about database design, how you are going to design the database using various data models that are available, and particularly in the second unit of R16 syllabus, you are going to learn two important data models that can be used for the design of databases, that are ER model and relational model. And in the ER model, as the syllabus is suggesting, it depicts what is an entity set, what is an activity set, what is a relationship set, and how you are going to do the conceptual design using this ER model. All these things are going to be discussed under the ER model. And while coming for the relationship model, you are going to learn how you are going to design the database using various kinds of relations, how you are going to constrain the data that is present in your database by using various types of constraints. All these things are being covered in the relational model. And the second unit also includes two another parts, that is about relational algebra as well as relational calculus. And under the relational algebra, you are going to learn what are the various kinds of operators that are being supported by the relational algebra to query your database or to retrieve the desired information from the database. As well as the queries can also be expressed by using the relational calculus, and the two types of relational calculus, that are TRC, tuple relational calculus, and DRC, domain relational calculus, are also discussed and in this second unit. So first we will deal about what is database design. As its name indicates, database design can be defined as the organization of data that is to be stored in the database. How we are going to organize the data in the case of your database. How we can model the data that is being stored in your database. All the types of issues are being covered under the database design. How we can effective design for our database management system such that it will result high performance or it can yield the better performance to the users. So these are the steps in database design process. The first step as is being depicted is requirement analysis. As already you know, in the case of your software engineering, requirement analysis can be called as collecting the requirements from the user. And especially in the case of your database design requirement analysis, in which way the users wants the database should look like. What are the data items that are needed to be stored? What kind of relationship should exist among the data items? What are the constraints on the data items? All those things must be collected from the customers. Which type of database should be designed? All that requirements should be gathered from the customers. So, in order to conduct this requirement analysis process, also there exists two sub-steps as you are seeing in your PPT. The first step is planning. As its name indicates, planning is nothing but how all these data items must be collected. You should plan for that collection. The second step is after planning, you should gather the requirements from the customer, and after gathering the information, you should define how your database should look like. So these are the steps of your requirement analysis phase. After the requirement analysis phase is over, you can go for the second step. The second step of your database design is, as its name indicates, it is the designing of the database itself. That means conversion of the system definition that has been occurred in the first step to a model that has been selected by means of the database administrators. As already you know, in the case of your first unit, there exist different types of data models. Conceptual data model is there, physical data model is there, and external data models are there. So, and especially in the second phase of your database design, you need to convert the requirements of your database into a model that is nothing but a logical data model or conceptual data model. So after the data model has been designed, you need to implement the design process. Here the implementation is not, the implementation phase can be defined as you need to load the data that has been designed into your actual database, and you need to test this database that is being working according to the requirements that has been collected from the users. So these are the three steps of your database design process. The first step is requirement analysis. You should gather the requirements from the customers, in which way they actually want the database should look like. After the requirements gathering has been done, you should convert that requirements into a template that has been chosen by the data model. After the design step is over, according to the design phase, you need to actually create the database. That is, you need to actually load the data items into the database. And after the database has been created, you need to test whether the database is working according to requirements that have been specified by the user or not. So the entire major concentration of your database design is conversion of the requirements into the data model. So let us see what are the requirements of the data model, how we are going to model the data in terms of data models. And as you already know, in the case of your first unit, there exist different types of data models, and especially these are the four categories of data models that are very much useful nowadays also, that are nothing but entity relationship model, relational model, hierarchical model, and network model. And in your second unit, you are going to cover the ER model and relational model in detail, how these models can be used in order to design the databases. So while coming to the first type of data model, that is nothing but ER model. As its name indicates, what is the meaning of ER? Entity relationship model. So everything in the database can be defined as a collection of entities and as a collection of relationships among these entities. So this type of model can be called as ER model, and this model can be used to portray the database structure in terms of the ER diagrams. In terms of the ER diagrams. So now let us discuss what are the important aspects under this ER model, how we are going to convert our database or the data items in the database in terms of the entities and in terms of the relationships, how the template of the data model in the ER model will look like. So the first concept of your ER model is entity. As its name indicates, any real world object can be called as an entity. For example, I myself, a human being, is an entity, fan is an entity, table is an entity. So any real world object can be called as an entity. So each and every entity is having certain particular properties or a set of attributes which are going to describe that particular entity. So for example, when we are discussing about the table, what are the attributes of the table? Length of the table, width of the table, color of the table, all that things can be called as attributes of the table. While coming for the fan, what is the manufacturing company of that fan? How many wings are there? What is the speed of that fan? What is the color of that fan? All the things can be called as the attributes of that fan. So an entity can be called as any real world object which is going to be described by a set of particular attributes. So the attribute, what is an attribute? Attribute is the characteristic or a property of an entity. So for example, let us take the student as an entity. If we want to denote a student, in which way we can describe a student? By his roll number, by his name and phone number, address, all this can be called as the attributes of the student. So another important feature in the ER model is entity set. What is an entity set? collection of all entities having the similar characteristics or having the similar properties is being called as an entity set. So for example, a particular student is having a roll number 501, name as Sujata and address in Guntur. Another student which is an also entity having a roll number 502, Murali and his address is in Guntur. Another student is having the same properties that are 503 and name is Dheeraj and address is in Northstoppet. So like that, we may have several student entities who are having the same type of attributes such as roll number, name and address. Instead of representing all the students with their roll numbers, with their names and with their phone numbers, we can collectively represent the entire collection of students by means of a single thing that is being called as an entity set called as the students. Here the students under the category of students entity set, 501 entity will come, 502 entity will come, as well as the third entity will come, and also all the other entities which are having the same attributes as student ID, student name and student phone number. So, in brief, an entity set is a collection of entities which will share the common properties. And in your ER model, the entity set is going to be represented by means of a rectangle symbol, and all the attributes of that entity set are being depicted by using the vowel symbols, and all that attributes can be connected to that entity set. So see, for example, if you want to depict the student entity set, we can draw one rectangle and within that rectangle write the name of the entity set. What is the name of the entity set? Student is the name of the entity set, and we need to depict all the four attributes of the entity set. The first attribute is ID, written or depicted by using an vowel symbol, written the name ID inside that vowel symbol and connecting that attribute to the entity set. As well as the second attribute, name, is also represented and connected to the entity set. The age is also represented using the vowel symbol and connected to the entity set. And the phone number is also depicted in the same way and is connected to the entity set. That means in brief, entity sets in the ER model can be depicted by means of the rectangle symbol, written the name of that entity set inside, and all the attributes of that entity set are drawn by using the vowel symbols connected to that entity set by means of the lines. So this is the way how we are being modeling the entity sets in the ER model. So while coming to the second step of your ER model, the second step is to depict the relationship sets. What is a relationship set? Can anybody tell? A relationship, as its name indicates, is used to represent the type of relationships or the in which way the two or more entities are being related to. And in the case of your ER model, we need to represent several kinds of relationship sets. That is, the first type of relationship is strong relationship, and the second one is weak relationship. As in similar to that of your entity set, we can have the relationship sets also. What is a relationship set? The similar categories of relations which relates the entities in one entity sets to the entities in another entity sets are the kind of similar relationships which relates the similar entities to one another similar entities can be called as the relationship sets. That is, entities in E1, E2, E3 and so on En in first entity can be related to, and the entities E1, E2, E3 and so on En in the second entity set by means of the relationship set. And in the case of your ER model, the relationship set can be used or can be depicted by means of the diamond symbol written inside the name of that relationship set. So see, for example, here we have represented two kinds of relationships by taking two types of entities. Here the database or the data that has been given for us is a particular employee is working in particular department. E1 is working in D1, E2 is working in D2, E3 is working in D4. Like that, we are having the database. So, if such kind of database has been given for you, I have taken two entity sets. The first entity set is the employees, having the attributes as employee roll, employee number represented by means of the attribute SSN, employee name represented by means of the attribute name, and the employee's working experience by means of the attribute lot. Similarly, we are having the opposite entity set, that is departments. Departments is also represented by means of the rectangle symbol and its attributes department ID, department name, and the budget allocated for that particular department. All these things are well familiar for you. So here see what is the kind of relationship that is existed between the employees and departments. Employee is working in a particular department since some period of time. E1 is working in D1 since 1980. E2 is working in D3 since 1950. Likewise, the database has been given for you. So, what is the kind of relationship? E1, an entity in employee set, is related to D1, an entity set in department, by means of a relationship that is working in. Employee is working in a particular department. Another employee in the employee set is working in another department. So, there exist relationships among the entities in employees to the entities in departments. So, all the kinds of relationships are being represented by means of a relationship set that is called as work scene. So, here we are having another type of attributes also that is called as like since attribute. So, here in the database, what facts has been given for us? Employee is working in a particular department since some particular point of period of time. So, where to put the since attribute? Can we put the since in employees? Since is appropriate for the employees? No way. Can we put the since attributes in the department? Is it reasonable? We can't put the since attribute in the departments also. Since is an attribute that depicts or describes the property of a relationship. Work since. Since is related to the relationship. So that attribute must be connected to the work since relationship, and the attributes that describe the relationship are called as the descriptive attributes that describe the relationship set itself. So here the work scene is a relationship between the employees entity set and the department entity set, and that work scene has been represented by means of the diamond symbol, and all the participating entities in that relationship have been connected by means of the lines towards that relationship. So how we are going to represent the relationships? The relationships are being represented by means of the diamond symbol connecting the entities that are participating in that relationship by means of the lines towards that relationship. So here the employees and departments are the two entity sets that are participating in work scene. So from the two entity sets, I have drawn the lines towards the working. So this is about relationships. And for example, take another type of relationships. So what is the database that has been given for you is an employee is a supervisor to another type of employee. So for example, we are having a category of employees. E1 is a supervisor for E2, E3, E4 and E5. E5 is a supervisor for E6, E7, E8 and E9. That means here there exists a relationship between employees to employees. What is the kind of relationship? E2, E3, E4, E5 are being supervised by E1, or otherwise you can tell that E1 supervises E2, E3, E4, E5. So here there exists a relationship, that is supervisor and subordinate relationships between the same entities. What are the same entities? Employees to employees. So here the entities that are participating in the relationship, that is reports to an employee who is a supervisor, reports to subordinates. Here the subordinates are also the same type of entity sets. So the same entity set is participating in two ways within the relationship, that is reports to. Some of the employees are supervisors and some of the employees are subordinates. So here the same entity sets is participating or is relating to itself. So these are the kinds of relationships that are existed, and we are going to represent all these kinds of relationships by means of the diamond symbol. By means of the diamond symbol. So next we are going to represent what are the types of relationships that are being existed among entities. Majorly we can have four types of relationships, that are one-to-one relationships, one-to-many relationships, many-to-one relationships, and many-to-many relationships. So while coming for the first category of relationship, that is one-to-one relationship. As its name indicates, one-to-one relationship is one entity in the first entity set is being related to only one another entity in the second entity set. One entity in the first entity set is related to only one entity in the second entity set. So this type of relationship is called as one-to-one relationship. For example, in order to depict the one-to-one relationship, the database that has been given for you is a particular female candidate is married to one male candidate. Sujata is married to Adinarayana. Sivaparvati is married to Lakshmaya. Lakshmi Nasama is married to Jagannatha. Likewise, the database has been given for you. So here, what are the things that has been represented in your database? Sujata, Lakshmi Nasama, Sivaparvati, as well as Jagannatham, Lakshmaya, Adinarayana. So here, the first entities are the entities that are represented as female candidates. The next another categories of entities can be represented as the male candidates. So female candidates are represented by means of the female entity set, and the male candidates are represented by means of the entity set, that is male entity set. So what is the kind of relationship between the female candidates to the male candidates? Married to. So the females can marry to males. So here what is the kind of relationship that is being existed between the females to males, that is married to? What is the type of relationship? For example, the database designers or the database customers have instructed you in such a way that one female can marry to only one male and one male can marry to one female. So one female can marry to how many males? One. So the type of relationship of the female is one, that is represented in the opposite way. The male can marry to how many females? One. So the male participation is represented in the opposite entity set. Female has one participation as well as the male is also having one participation. So this type of relationship is being called as one-to-one relationship. Or for example, in the database that has been given as one female can marry to n males, many males. What is the kind of relationship? A female can marry to many number of males. So what is the participation of female? N, many. Here you need to represent many. Whereas a male can marry to one female. The participation of male is only a single. You can write it as one. That type of relationships are called as one-to-many. Or in another words, if the database constraint has been given as one male can marry to many females, whereas a female can marry to only one male. What is the participation of female? Female can marry to only one male, that is only one here. Male can marry to many number of females, so here comes many. The type of relationship is one to many. If the database has been given as a male can marry to many females, a female can marry to many males, what is the participation of female? N here. Male is also the participation is N. The type of relationship is many to many. So we will take some another examples for the next another kinds of relationships. What is the next kind of relationships? One to many relationship. As its name indicates, one to many relationships means the first entity, the entities in the first entity set can relate it to many entities in the second entity set. Whereas one entity in the second entity set can be related to only one entity in the first entity set. That kind of relationship is called as one-to-many relationship. In order to represent this one-to-many relationship, the example database that has been given you is a particular scientist has invented particular inventions. S1 has invented I1, I2, I3. S2 has invented some another inventions. S3 has invented some another inventions. So here within your database, they have given a condition that a scientist can invent many inventions, whereas an invention can be invented by means of only single scientist. So here, what are the entities that are appearing in the database? Scientist is the first entity set. What is the second kind of entities? Invention is the second entity set. Scientist is represented by means of one entity set, that is one rectangle. Invention entity set is represented by means of another rectangle. So what is the kind of relationship between the scientist to invention? The scientist invents this particular invention, and afterwards we need to identify what is the type of relationship. As already we have given, one scientist can invent many inventions. One invention can be invented by means of a single scientist. That means the participation of scientist is many. He can do many inventions, whereas the participation of invention is one. That is, an invention is going to be invented by means of a single scientist. The participation of the particular entity set is represented at the opposite side. So what is the participation of scientist M, that is being mentioned in the invention side? What is the participation of invention 1, that is being mentioned in the opposite? So these kinds of relationships are being called as one-to-many relationships. So while coming for the third type of relationship, what is the third type of relationship? Many-to-one relationship. As its name indicates, many entities in the first entity set can be connected to only one single entity in the second entity set, that is being called as many-to-one relationships. So in order to draw this type of relationship also, we have considered another database. What is the database? A student enrolling to a course. S1 has enrolled in C1. S2 has enrolled in C2. S3 has enrolled in C3. So what is the database that has been given for you? Student enrolling in particular courses. So what are the entities? Student is one entity set and course is the another entity set. What is the kind of relationship? Enrolling. Student enrolls to a particular course. Now we need to identify the type of relationship that is enrolled. What is the type of relationship? For example, if the database designers has constrained that student can enroll only one course, but a course can consisting of many students enrolled in it. So clearly observe that fact. What is the fact that has been given to you? A student is eligible to enroll only for a particular course, whereas one course can have many number of students enrolled in it. So what is the participation of student? Student can enroll to only one course. The course can consisting of how many students? Many number of students. So what is the type of relationships here? Many-to-one relationship. So this is the type of many-to-one relationships. So while coming to the last kind of relationship, what is the last kind of relationship? Many-to-many relationship. As its name indicates, many-to-many relationship indicates many a number of entities in the first entity set are being related to many a number of entities in the second entity sets. As an example, consider a database as an employee is monitoring particular project. E1 is monitoring P1, E2 is monitoring P2, E3 is monitoring P4. Like that, that is the database that has been given for you. So in this database, what are the entities? Employees, project. What is the kind of relationship? Assigned. An employee is assigned to monitor this project. Assigning is the relationship between employee and project. And we need to identify the type of relationship. A type of relationship is being identified by means of the conditions that have put by the customers or as well as the database administrators. For example, if the DBA has given the condition that an employee can be assigned to many number of projects, whereas the project can be done by many number of employees. What is the type of relationship? What is the participation of employee? As they have given, employee can be assigned to how many projects? Many number of projects. A project can be done by how many employees? Many number of employees. So what is the participation of employee? M. Many. What is the participation of project? Many. So what is the type of relationship? Many to many relationship. So these are the four categories of relationships that are nothing but one to one, one to many to one, and many to many relationships. So far in this video we have covered the introduction to ER model, that are what is an entity, what is an entity set, what is a relationship, what is a relationship set, and the types of relationships that can occur among the entities have been covered. So we'll meet in the next video. Thank you.